So yeah, we put a questionnaire out asking about people, and hopefully we're able to share it on the screen, or the data will come up with regards to have people ever been questioned about Sikhi in an intimidating way? If so, tell us about yourself. What are your demographics? Where are you from? How old are you? What's your level of Sikhi? Are you Amritari? So we get an idea as to the individual who's being targeted, but then also who's doing the targeting and what kind of things are they asking. And I'll just share a few things. So the majority of the people that responded were between the ages of 20 and 35, with the majority 30% being 19 to 26. Again, just because of our reach, the majority of the respondents were from West Midlands and Birmingham, and 63% were male. Most of them, so an overwhelming majority, 60%, that they were non-Amritari, but they had general good idea of Sikhi, which is interesting. We'll come on to that later. And of everyone that responded, over 60% said that they had faced intimidation regarding questioning upon Sikhi in a rude way. Now, that's quite alarming to know that most Sikhs that are living in the UK have at some point in their life been targeted in this way. And I think that's something that we should definitely try to prioritize and be better at dealing with. Where does this usually take place? 60% of people said in person. So it's not people are hiding behind screens doing these things. People are going out of their way to actually intimidate or try and question or try and cause doubt. And then we asked, who are these people? What religion, what background are they coming from? And we had all different faiths. The overwhelming majority was 49% were from a Muslim background, or people claiming to be from an Islamic background. And then 30% were a mixture. So we mentioned Hindu, Muslim, atheists, and even Christians. So what we can see from the data we've received is that within the UK in particular, the problem we're facing is intimidation from people trying to convert or trying to intimidate Sikhs from an Islamic point of view. And I guess this is something that we may have heard of, but it was interesting to actually see the data behind it. And when we asked what was the need or what was the aim of these people when they're talking to you, 72% said to us that it was an attempt to prove that Sikhi is inferior to their religion. So we see this correlation, this common theme through all of the responses we've got, where it's coming from a majority of Muslims within the UK. And the main aim that people feel is that they're trying to show that Sikhi is not true and Islam is better than Sikhi. And I think that's quite worrying. And there's some things that we need to definitely clarify to make sure that people aren't being taken advantage of. And we can go on later to the questions or the comments that are being made in these spaces.
We spoke about this before, and I guess it goes coming back to the point of what was the point of starting this, because I guess you've known about this for a while, but I'm sure there's some cases or experience that we've had personally where we've seen people close to us. I think, whoa, this happened to you. One example that I had was of a Guru Sikh that's very close to one of my friends. And he said that in his school, obviously he's from a Sikh family, so his sister goes to school, and she was just saying that it's become a bit of a trend. Why? To be a Muslim in school as well, right? That a lot of people are into it.
It's become cool.
It's a bit of a cool thing. And for her, even her Sikh friends have kind of joined that movement. And when she saw that, I guess not just following the crowd, right? She saw what was special in Sikhi, and then that pushed her more towards Sikhi. And one day she was sitting there in a common room, as they have in schools, and she was just watching a Basis of Sikhi video. Shout out to Basis of Sikhi.
Plug.
And even her Sikh friends came up to her, said to, why are you watching these videos for? Right. So that was something I even said to you, and that kind of triggered you because you had some personal examples as well, right?
Yeah. And I think at this point it is important to pause and say that this podcast is not here to bash any religion. If someone wants to convert to a different religion, we have no problems with that. We wish them all the best. Honestly, do from the bottom of my heart. The problem I have is that when false things are being perpetrated about Sikhi and people are being brainwashed into converting, that's something I have a problem with. If someone wants to convert, we wish you all the best. That's no problem. From whatever religion it might be. If someone wants to walk a certain path in their life, we have no problems with that. What we have a problem with is people attacking Sikhi in a desperate attempt to undermine our values, confuse people with the attempt to try and get them to follow a certain path. So I think that's really important to understand. And I know some people might watch this video and say, oh, you guys are against Muslims. We're really not. Guru Sahib Aap had many Muslims fight against the Mughals. Bir Buddha Shah sacrificed 2 of his 4 sons and became Shaheed. So I think that's just really important to get out there in the offset.
Even Guru Sahib built a mosque, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with regards to your example, I think one thing that I had 2 examples. So one is from a student that learned Santhia from us. And she's quite confident. And with Guru Sahib's Kirpa, she's learned about Sikhi over the recent years. And she goes to school within Birmingham. And she mentioned that on the playground, there were a lot of kids from a Muslim background going around saying that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is Muslim. And I think the problem is the audacity and the confidence in which they're doing this is really worrying. And when they were called up by their teachers, the response to the teachers was, well, I'm not sorry because I know it's true. So somehow these false lies are being ingrained in these children or within the community in general. And we'll see this from the videos that we've seen. It's just become like a normal thing to say, oh, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is a Muslim. Now, I take that as seriously offensive and seriously rude. If anyone ever said that to me, to my face, I'd get seriously angry because the equivalent would be saying something about Jesus or saying something about the Prophet Muhammad. And I wouldn't want to be disrespectful to them. But unfortunately, the level has lowered so much where people think they can just say whatever they want about Guru Sahib or about Sikhi or about our history and just get away with it. And I think in part, it's our problem because we haven't retaliated it with the amount of force that should have been. So that was one worrying thing. And another Benji as well, who she wears a patka. And when she started working in a hospital again in Birmingham, a lot of the other Muslim women actually thought she was Muslim. So they would, they got friendly with her and stuff. And after they found out she was a Sikh by looking at her ghara, they started questioning her in quite a nasty way, asking her things about her religion. And, she's just a normal Benji. She didn't have all the answers, but she knew that I can see what's going on here. And as soon as she started giving answers back, they detached her. They separated her. They separated themselves from her, and literally they wouldn't even make eye contact. They wouldn't speak to her, whereas they were friends before. Now, obviously, this isn't representative of every Muslim. I know many loving Muslims, friends that are Muslims, but we shouldn't shy away from the fact that this is happening at an alarming rate, where the data is telling us, and also between ourselves. I remember this started for me when I was a child. I was 7 years old at a tutoring center. And I didn't know what Sikhi was then. I didn't know what religion was. I was just there to try and get into a grammar school, right? and the boy next to me at the age of 7 turned to me and just said, why aren't you a Muslim? You should become a Muslim. And ever since then, it's always lingered in my mind. Why did he ask that? What was the need? And as I've grown up, and I guess the data is telling us as well, is that unfortunately, this is a common theme where for some reason, some Muslims feel that they have the right to go and intimidate Sikhs to try and convert them. And we've seen it we've seen it in our history as well, where Sikhs many a time have given up their lives rather than convert.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the full podcast on our second channel, BOS TV.
And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's get it to 10K subs.